Yeah. Yeah, some of them don't work at all. Like I tried to listen to the Dune books. There's too many dudes with weird ass names. There's no way to keep track of that shit.
Muad'Dib.
In Dune, too many characters with just like some names I've never heard of. You know, it's not like Joe or Jim. It's like Vishnustian or some shit. And then, four more names come right after that. And you're like, I don't know who the fuck's talking to who. And then I noticed that people that write books for audiobooks, uh, they make sure to include like characters from different ethnicities so that they have, they got the Asian guy, they got the Southern guy, they got the black fella. That way they all have different voices, because if they were all like Tom, Dick, and Harry, then the guy would have to have like three voices for the same ethnicity or whatever. So there's always like a Russian guy in an audiobook if it doesn't make no sense. It's all right.
Okay, we are now live. Hi, Internet. Our last meeting was on handling emotions, and today our meeting is on health and wellness. In the same vein, we are talking about reducing harm and doing what we can to be healthy people. Obviously, abstaining from a substance that's haunted you and given you lots of bad health is going to be a good first tip. But
Yeah. Important to note that we're all working on this journey in life. This is a big part of it. We're not perfect. I mean, obviously, here I've got a cigarette. This is something that is not beneficial to my health, at least physically.
James,
Yes.
your smoking is beneficial to the rest of our healths.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, so we understand that people are coming from a place of recovery. You may be newly sober and things are difficult for you right now, or you may be somebody with a lot of chronic pain, injuries. You have certain limitations. So we're not gonna just come out and say, all right, well, uh, this is what you have to do for health and wellness. Wake up and sprint 1 mile, come back and take an ice bath. All this BS that you get on the internet. This is about progress that we can actually make, uh, and small efforts that we can do to our daily routines that benefit our health and wellness. Um, so I mean, my goal in this is just to try to do a little bit better than I did yesterday. Um, for example, I've been playing this game with my brother for the last week. I've been pounding energy drinks. I've been staying up late. I feel miserable because I'm doing this. So, the last couple of days we're like, all right, we're too old for this shit. Let's go to bed at 11 o'clock, and trying to steer our stuff slowly like that to be more responsible.
11.
Less energy drinks, more water, getting back to the things that I know make me feel healthy every day. Uh, Water and good rest are very important. And if I take those away, then I just start feeling like a bag of ass.
Sleep's important. I like to eliminate light and noise. I know some people do sleep better with noise. They like noise, white noise, audiobooks.
Yeah. So you're talking about sleep hygiene, which is definitely something that everyone needs to have established for themselves. I've always appreciated this Native American saying that was rise and fall with the sun. Some of you might have jobs that prevent that from being the case, but you can still have routine, a regular routine within uh, your prescribed life. Um, but ideally, you wake up regularly with the sun, get some sunlight, you know, um, have your breakfast, take your medication, You know, these are like post-sleep hygiene type things, clean yourself up, whatnot. But for pre-sleep hygiene, this is more important because this is actually what makes you end up going to sleep. If you can create a regular routine that you do on your way to sleep, your body will begin to learn that, oh, this sequence of events is happening. Let's start going to sleep. I mean, I can go into my room right now and do my sleep routine and fall asleep regardless if I wasn't tired or if I am tired. It's gonna be easy to take a nap after this, tell you. But so start to develop some sort of sleep routine for you. You want to, like John said, eliminate lights from your room. You don't want to have a TV going. You don't want to be browsing your Twitter feed on your phone. I know that some people might be stuck doing that, but that's an easy thing to remove from your life. And it might suck for a few days. You might be laying there in bed going, this would be a lot better if I was just browsing Twitter. But cut that out. Get used to a healthy sleep regimen. Take a nice hot bath or something at night. Take your medication afterwards. Get yourself situated in bed in a regular way at a regular time. I put on an audiobook, and before I know it, I'm gone without a lot of effort. But the more that you can regiment this, the easier it's going to be for you to sleep, and then that will provide for you a rested body that will make your day much more beneficial or much more pleasurable, rather. What about you, Scott? Do you do anything for your sleep regimen?
So, can you hear me?
Yeah.
So I tend to read books, and I know that the light from your phone or your Kindle, just like a TV, will typically stimulate your brain and keep you up. So one of the things that I've done, because I typically read on my Kindle, is put it in dark mode.
Yeah.
So that I don't get that bright light in my face. And I do have a pretty steady routine. It's a cup of sleepy time tea, maybe a hot bath, and a little bit of reading before I turn the light out. And then, of course, when it comes to, as you mentioned earlier, some people like white noise. I've got a cat with a loud purr. That's pretty much like,
Yeah, very comforting as well.
That is pretty much white noise as you're falling asleep.
Yeah.
And I know John appreciates the purrs that he gets from his cats too.
Yeah, that's a really peaceful way to go to sleep. You can get your cat to get close enough to your face.
Yeah. That's kind of an interesting thing. I mean, my sleep routine is so good that my animals, they're involved in it as well. They're like, can you please open up that door so it's time to go back there and take a nap, And then I got my dog putting his head right or her head right here, and the cat sleeping between my legs. That's very comforting to have that as well. Get all those things together, and then no one could stay awake with all that good stuff happening. Audiobooks, dark room, reading a little bit, a nice relaxed body, perhaps from a soaking tub, or a shower, whatever you prefer. Do what you can to have that routine. John, do you have any regularity to your night thing?
The biggest part of my night routine is taking my meds. Sometimes I will have some sleepy tea, but really it's just taking my meds that really kind of helps me wind down and really fall asleep, lay down and rest. Other than that, just turning my phone off, making sure that the email alerts don't come in and make a noise. That's
You
probably
say you
it.
say you go. I mean, I know you wake up pretty early. Do you pretty much go to bed regular time or
I,
attempt
I,
to?
I do about 9 o'clock. Usually that's when I start to wind down. I try to get into bed, have my meds taken by about 9 or 10.
Yeah, I prefer to shoot for that as well. I've been breaking it because of this game. It's too much fun.
Yeah, I'm pretty much the same. It's, you know, I want to be underneath the covers by about 8:30 so that I can turn the light out about, 9:15,
Yeah.
which makes me feel really old.
Yeah, man, there's something nice about getting up real early though. Some people hate it, and that's part reason is because you're only getting up uh early because your alarm's going off and you have to get somewhere or
Got to
something
go
like
to
that. But
work.
yeah, but if you can get to waking up before you're supposed to go to work and have a little bit of leisure in the morning, have that cup of tea or coffee and a little breakfast, something simple even. Um, it really is a nice meditative period in life, especially if you're up before everybody else. I've always liked that, sort of
I,
beating the
it,
traffic.
you know, I've got an alarm that's set for 6:30 every morning, but I'm usually up by 5 or 5:15. Just body naturally wakes up.
Yeah.
Um, and it means, I get to sit outside and listen to the birds wake up. And depending on the time of year, because I'm in the Pacific Northwest, I might get to see the sunrise.
Hmm. Yeah,
And it is very relaxing to start my day that way.
absolutely. Yeah. Unfortunately, where I live, you don't really get to see the sun until like 8:30 or 9, because of the trees and whatnot. Uh, Perhaps I need to make a point to head off on my bicycle with my dog or something and find a good spot to enjoy that if I am up early. Sometimes I end up laying on the sidewalk at 5:30 a.m. when it's in the summer and hot. Uh, my house is real cold, and I'll get my cup of coffee and my pack of smokes, go out there and just lay on the hard concrete and get that little bit of warmth back into my body.
See,
But I
it's
wish the sun was a part of that.
well, it's a little interesting up here because you know in the summer the sun comes up about 4:30 in the morning and doesn't set till 10:30 at night.
Uh-huh.
But in the winter, it's the sun doesn't come up till 8 o'clock in the morning and it gets dark at 4:30 in the afternoon.
Yeah, right.
So I either get a ton of sun or I get no sun.
Yeah, it's getting on those winter hours here very quickly. Um, yeah, we had like our first cold day with rain the other day. I was like, no, no, please. But I got a bunch of weather gear this time, so I'm ready for winter. Let's do this. Um, so I mean, I think we pretty much covered uh, sleep and its importance. I mean, a lot of people don't nap in the day. It might be a part of your life's arrangement that prevents you from doing that. But start to try to practice that. Naps are a wonderful thing to add into your life, and you'll feel the difference from that. A lot of people try to fight through that tiredness in the day, like, all right, let me just get some more coffee, let me do this. But if you just go and you take a little rest, you'll feel a lot better, and then you can have your coffee right afterwards, and then you'll be turbocharged and good to go. But yeah, like you said earlier, Scott, naps just aren't just for 5-year-olds. Something everyone can enjoy. Um, as far as food goes, um, it's the same thing as I mentioned before. It's trying to do a little bit better than you did yesterday. If no one can go from eating fast food 10 times a week and sitting on the couch all day to eating a raw food diet and exercising twice a day, every day. The leap there is just impossible. Too many people try to get all up and excited and go and do stuff that overwhelms them, and then it ultimately makes them completely halt what progress they could make. You can try to make smaller steps. I mean, eliminating fast food is just the go-to. I mean, the most of that stuff is just pure poison for your body. Your body feels hunger in a couple different ways. One of those is if you're missing nutrients, you'll be stimulated to go and find those nutrients. You'll be hungry for something like that. If your body's looking for those good items, and you give it fast food instead, you'll feel full for a minute, but then after a while, your body's still going to tell you that you need more of that, more healthy stuff, more actual good calories. If you're eating a giant meal, the other way that you'll feel hungry is your stomach swells up to absorb all that food, and then as it starts to shrink, you'll hear your stomach growling throughout the day, and that's another way that you kind of feel hunger. So keeping your meals during the day smaller is going to create less expansion and then less contraction, growling of the stomach and all that. So small healthy things, as many nuts and berries as you can eat through the day are enormously beneficial in both of those ways. You get nutrients and you're not expanding your stomach. You guys have any thoughts on that?
Okay, so James, so with me being a pescatarian,
Yes.
My diet's way different than you guys is. And so what appeals to me and how often I need to eat is very, very different, but I've gotten used to it over the last 30 years.
Oh.
So I don't know that I'm a good person to speak to that. Because you're talking about nuts and berries, and I'm like, well, I do overnight oatmeal with fresh blackberries and frozen blueberries in it, and a sprinkle of slivered almonds, and that's breakfast for me. That's just normal.
No, that's good stuff. Yeah. Nothing wrong with that. I don't know a lot about pescatarian. You guys don't eat fish? Is that what it is also?
No, that's it. I don't eat beef, chicken, pork. It's fish is the only meat I do.
Oh, okay, only meat, right? So that's actually probably better for you in a lot of ways. I'm a proponent of meat. I've done some.
You country boys and your cows.
Yeah. I definitely can't be a vegetarian. But if you're gonna whatever you eat, regardless of your dietary needs and preferences, getting quality ingredients, getting ingredients that you can pronounce. Not a lot of this refined stuff. Obviously, you want to avoid that as much as possible. So you can essentially eat as much as you want to, but if you're eating better stuff, you're going to slowly drive yourself down this path of better health and wellness, better diet. Your body will start to appreciate it, and it'll speak to you essentially. You'll know that you're doing the right thing.
I will say, when I started down this road, I was eating a lot of fast food, and once I moved over, basically eating more vegetables, and honestly, I was in my early 20s when I started doing that. It was like I felt like I had more energy.
Yeah,
I felt better. So, John, I'm going to ask you to chime in here because I know you started trying to eat better in the last few months.
The latest thing for me, well, I'll let you ask your question, or you just wanted me to chime in.
I just wanted you to chime in because I know you've
Um,
been trying to eat better.
Lately for me, I've been buying these packages of, it's called Impossible Beef, and it's plant-based protein. James is shaking his head. He's like, what plant-based?
I'm shaking my head too.
It's plant-based protein. It tastes great. It fries up like burger. It's weird, but it tastes great. Let's
No.
see. Alexis made we called it Impossible Pasta. We just turned it into a vegetable pasta. It was delicious.
Mm.
And yeah, so I bought 2 more packages of that. Bought a very tall case of Coke Zero. So I'm less inclined to run to the gas station and buy one of those more
Yeah.
sugary substances. I've got a
So
little bit of, I don't know if you can read that. That's 0, maybe not.
Yep, we got it.
So I will say, guys, one of my favorite breakfasts, and this is going to sound like really weird to both of you, is some miso broth, some edamame, a little bit of tofu, and some avocado.
Yeah, that's a perfect breakfast, man.
It is literally 50% of the protein that I need in a day, and I'm having it in a mug for breakfast.
Yeah. Yeah, that protein will help keep you from being
And it
hungry
really
as well.
it kind of kicks off the day.
Yeah. No, that's a good breakfast for sure. My usual breakfast is just raw eggs. And then if I have some strawberries or blueberries or anything like that, I might add some of that to the equation, but it's typically just the raw eggs. If I'm doing real good, I start to juice more. I've been lazy with that for the last few weeks. Only doing it like once a week or twice a week. But that would be my ultimate breakfast. Whenever I get going on a good track and I'm juicing every morning, I feel the benefits from that immediately. If I'm doing that and I'm drinking water, I'm damn near high on life at that point. Your body
So
just rewards you. Huh?
So I got a question on that because I don't have one right now, but I used to have a juicer and all of the like pulp left over. What the hell do you do with that stuff?
Yeah. So some people take that and they make these like burritos out of it.
Oh,
Some
okay.
people use like a seaweed wrap or some kind of healthy tortilla or bread for that. I typically don't. I just throw that in the garbage. I'm
See,
wasteful.
that's see, and it always felt like it was a waste to me. It's like going crap.
Yeah. Yeah. Juicing's kind of one of those things. If I were to take everything that I put into the juicer and try to eat that, I'd be eating for an hour and a half trying to process all that stuff, all the kale and cucumbers and green apples and
And then you'd have to reprocess it the next morning.
yeah. But so whenever you juice it, you're essentially getting this super concentrated batch of vitamins and minerals. And there's water in there too. There's like cucumbers are like 98% water or something like that. And yeah, it can be wasteful to discard the rest, but you're kind of like getting a toxin. I mean, a tonic. That's the word. Yeah.
Tonic.
Not,
Gotcha.
not toxic.
Super tonic. Yeah.
Yeah, super tonic for your health. But that's hard. It's a lot of work to do. I wouldn't expect anyone to just up and start juicing every day. I used to do it for breakfast and lunch. Man, I look shredded. It didn't take long. My body was like, "Yes, sir. Let's keep doing this." But I got a little lazy in a couple mornings, and then all of a sudden I stopped doing it. So one of the things I'm gonna try to be a little bit better at is getting those groceries from the grocery store and at least being ready to make juice because I don't have anything to make juice out of right now. So then I just default on my raw egg diet for breakfast.
I guess you could probably use that. You could probably throw that into compost and grow some more vegetables for you to continue to juice.
Yeah, that's what I used to do when I had some property. I'd throw that all in the composter, and then yeah, you have a magic compost material.
I have a website for you guys on nutrition. The website is myplate.gov.
Okay, let me write that down.
And it's a website that talks about the VA's recommendations for dietary needs, including a fruit, a vegetable, a protein, a grain, and a dairy in each meal. And you can find more information about what those different fruit boost the immune system, provides nutrients that maintain the body. So it's important for you to have some fruit to have a boosted immune system, because your body comes in contact with little germs all the time. You want to have a good immune system so they never become too much of a trouble. Oxidative stress is when the body is processing oxygen, and it needs to clean up and detoxify the resulting damage that is done just by processing oxygen. Utilizing oxygen in our body actually does put some stress on us. One substance that Dr. Don Colbert says it helps reduce toxins and free agents in your system is called glutathione. It's glutathione. It's a peptide found in plants and animals, and it's a powerful antioxidant. So there's one more thing on nutrition there, and you can buy it over the counter. But there are superfoods that you can eat that will help your body create more. It's created in your liver.
Yeah. Yeah,
John, do you have any examples of those superfoods?
I don't have those written down. No, but I'd like to. I don't think I have those superfoods written down. Sorry.
Yeah, it's going to be there's a lot of berries are in that category. I know blueberries is a superfood. Pomegranate. Yeah, I need to look up some more myself and add that to my routine, because you're saying there's these free radicals that are in your system that are essentially causing damage to everything.
Right.
And you can eat these foods that mitigate that damage, or you can take some supplements that will help assist that. I used to be on this giant vitamin regimen from USANA, I think it was the company. Felt great from that, and I'm sure that it did a lot to decrease the amount of damage that I was experiencing. I mean, essentially, we're slowly damaging our bodies, causing our bodies to age through the years, and that's how we age. Just like if you cut an apple in half and you leave it out there and it's exposed to oxygen, it starts to wilt. It becomes oxidization happens. And so there's actually, like you're mentioning, things that you can essentially coat that with. In the case of the vitamins, they had an experiment where they set an apple, half an apple in these vitamins, and then half an apple in just a little bit of water, and the water apple deteriorated really quick, and then this other one that had these anti-free radicals and other nutrients in it, that apple was good forever. I mean, it's probably still good. So we're trying to do that, initiate that process in our body with our diet.
If I could follow up, I did a quick Google search on your question, Scott, and here are some of those foods: avocados, asparagus, bok choy, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, cauliflower, cucumber, green beans, kale, okra, and spinach. All of those are all super glutathione.
I have 70% of those in my fridge right now.
Nice.
Yeah, I do pretty good on that too. On that note, I need to re-up my refrigerator. I don't know why I've been lacking on it, but I'm gonna make the effort well, actually, I know what happened. My car blew up. Couldn't go to the damn store. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna
So,
go get me. I love Brussels sprouts,
well, James, reach out to me separately. I have a great recipe for roasted Brussels sprouts.
Yeah, I'm all about that.
But going back to your Apple thing, and it works with avocados as well. If you squirt a little bit of like lemon or lime across
Yeah.
the top of a cut apple or an avocado, it preserves them.
Yeah.
The vitamin C and the acidity is really good for your body.
Yeah. Man, it's making me want to go to the grocery store right now. Starting to crave some of these things. Like at night, I typically go to sleep right after I eat, whether it be after lunch or after dinner. And you hear that
Unless you're playing games with your brother.
yeah, yeah. Then and then I don't eat till 1 a.m. and it's a ton of meat. But some people say that you shouldn't eat right before bed. Um, and really the only reason to not do that is if you get acid reflux or any kind of indigestion from what you eat. If you don't get bothered by any of that kind of stuff, then there's no harm in eating before bedtime. Essentially, we're doing a calorie intake versus calorie output. If you have a surplus of intake compared to what you're burning, you're going to gain weight over time, and if you have a deficit, then you're going to lose weight. So it doesn't really matter when you're eating that. Your body's still going to respond the same way to more calories or less calories. It's kind of like a myth, like you eat before you sleep, you get fat type deal, but just not the case.
Okay, as somebody who has just been diagnosed with GERD,
Yeah.
yeah, I really do have to be careful what I eat before I go to bed. So
yeah, it's got to be different for everybody, right?
Yeah,
Tailored to your needs. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to tailor this to the way your body's going to react to stuff.
Yeah. I've done some experiments in quotes. I have a watch that tracks my sleep, and I've always kind of thought that a diet that mimicked what we as humans ate for millennia prior to agriculture, prior to widespread agriculture. You'd think about just a tribe, they wake up in the morning, they uh, go over to the biggest blackberry bush that's ever existed. It's just miles and miles of it because it's nature back then. Take their fill of that. On the way there, they find a few birds' nests. They eat the raw eggs, and then minor foraging through the day. Then the hunters bring home a giant meat, whatever that may be, and then they eat as much as they can until there's no more meat and go to sleep. So I think there's something to that. I mean, people call it like the paleo diet or whatever, but uh, I don't know. I don't know what it is exactly.
So James, my ex did the paleo diet there for a while. And I actually enjoyed cooking that way. It was definitely very interesting to do. It is definitely very, very healthy. It's just gonna be a lot of flavors that most people are not used to.
Yeah, for me, it's like I try to think about mostly, what they would find out out foraging during their day. They'd find the berries, they'd find nuts and uh, fruits on trees and that sort of thing, and then end it with a big meat, maybe just by itself. And that diet seems to work pretty good for me. And I mentioned the experiment that my watch has been doing. If, if I eat a giant portion of meat and then go to sleep, my body gets more deep sleep than it does whenever I'm eating differently than that. Uh, I notice it every single time. Like, wow, there's all my deep sleep right there when I do that. But yeah, things work different for everybody. And finding out what works for each of us is definitely the path that we all need to be on. I think just a good general rule is natural ingredients. If you're starting there, avoid the fast food, natural ingredients, and then you're on your way to building a healthy diet.
Just strive for that 1% better. Just aim for 1% better. You don't have to give up fast food tomorrow.
Right.
Don't have to, completely overhaul your diet. Just make those little changes. You can avoid sugary drinks. That'd be a fantastic change you could make. If you could just get sugar-free drinks and get accustomed to the taste of the sugar-free drinks. I know that's kind of controversial with aspartame being in the news. Think about a month ago, aspartame was in the news pretty big.
Yeah.
Uh, my doctor has told me that the number two thing you can do that's most harmful for your body is to take in sugar in a liquid.
Mm.
And I try to listen to him. I did buy some Pepsi, but I bought some Coke Zero too, trying to weed that out.
Yeah. On
I
go ahead, Scott.
I would say that you don't want to cut out all of the indulgences.
Yeah.
Good tip.
I bought
Yeah.
I bought a pint of ice cream, a month and a half ago. And every once in a while, a couple of spoonfuls makes me
Yeah.
feel good.
Mm.
Yeah.
You can't cut it all out at once.
Right. Yeah.
Just like John buying, regular Pepsi.
I did buy a little bit. It was on my grocery list, so I bought it. I do like sugar. I'm a fan of sugar, but
I'm a fan of honey.
honey is
Yeah.
very delicious.
And that'd be natural sugar, and your body's going to respond better to that than it would the sugar in the drinks that we're talking about. Yeah.
That's how I sweeten my coffee in the morning, is with a quick squeeze of honey.
Yeah. I definitely have my sodas, and I have them with each meal that I make. And I just have a full strength regular old Sprite. So it's usually just two Sprites a day. And that's one of my indulgences, something that I really enjoy. And I've been drinking soda since I was a little boy, unfortunately. Uh, so to remove that entirely, for a minor health benefit compared to a big indulgence slash pleasure make me happy benefit, it's always important to balance the scale and not
So
overdo it. Yeah.
so have you thought about mixing that with some fruit juice?
Mixing the Sprite?
Yep.
No.
Ooh.
Yeah, I bet it'd be good though.
Get you a little bit of a health benefit.
Probably
Yeah.
be tasty. Use the
I
right
bet
fruit juice.
put some pomegranate juice in there or something.
Yeah.
Something uh powerful in the antioxidant category.
Yep.
Yeah. I could see doing something like that. Yeah. And I've tried the zeros and all those, and they're not bad. I mean, there's a lot of stuff out there about aspartame, but if I think drinking 30 grams of sugar several times a day is pretty terrible to do for yourself. And if you're trying to cut back on your sugar, then it seems like a pretty reasonable trade-off for a little bit of aspartame in these zero drinks to help wean yourself off of that sugar load and
See,
desire for.
yeah, and I've gotten down to where I do club soda just because I like the carbonation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I don't need the sugar anymore. But yeah, I'll plop a little fruit juice in with it occasionally.
Uh-huh.
But I definitely have an addiction to the carbonation.
Yeah, same here. 100%.
It's that sparkly, bubbly
Mhm.
feel as it goes down your throat.
Yeah, little burps and whatnot.
Yep.
Yeah, I need that. Uh, do you guys have anything else on food, dietary adjustments, ways to slowly improve ourselves?
Other than there are ways to get your veggies in that taste really, really good. No, I
Yeah.
Veggies are delicious. I want to. So exercise is one we could talk about very briefly, but I want to first talk about mental exercise because I actually think that might be more important for you to get some kind of mental exercise and stimulation, so you don't wind up relapsing, going crazy, deciding you're bored, deciding you want to get high, you want to get drunk. You need puzzles are cheap. If you like puzzles, that's great brain stimulation. You can redecorate your apartment, go to thrift stores. You can try cooking, anything to stimulate your mind. Journaling. What do you guys do for mental stimulation?
so
Audiobooks,
John,
maybe.
as
Mhm.
you both know, I just spent a week down in Florida with a friend of mine, and um, he meditated for 30 minutes every night before going to sleep,
Uh-huh.
and it was a little weird to watch because he'd get into bed and sort of sit straight up and just meditate for half an hour, and then
Did you meditate
Yeah.
with him?
no, I did not. It is something that I'm thinking about doing
Okay.
Hmm.
after watching him, because he was able to just slide down under the sheets afterwards and fall
Mm.
asleep and sleep for 8 hours.
That sounds nice.
Yeah.
I it was really amazing to watch. I'm like, I'm not sure I can do this, but maybe I should try.
Yeah. I think part of what's happening during that meditation is you're almost like psyching yourself up to go to sleep. In a way, I start getting excited for it, and then whenever I lay there, uh, I'm I kind of it's not like I trick myself, but I'm definitely like, all right, sleep time. All right, we're here, we're going sleep. It's like gearing myself in that direction. I'm sure the meditation includes other aspects as well, but I could see kind of doing a little hyping yourself up for some good rest.
Yeah, see, when I go to sleep, I typically put myself into the book that I've been reading,
Yeah.
and it totally gets me into a dream state.
Yeah.
Um, but watching him be able to relax and just slide into that perfect sleep was absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
So it's something I probably need to try.
I mean, I think once you get it as part of your sleep routine, that'd be a fantastic addition. And some other mental exercises, you know, I play a ton of Scrabble, and chess, and playing
I'm a
music.
words with friends dude.
Yeah, that's what I think I do word wars. But yeah, same deal. Uh, Playing music and playing games. You know, between those three and kind of meetings like this and AA and those sorts of meetings, I feel like I get a lot of enough mental stimulation, enough exercise, um, enough thoughts about forward progress and growth, positivity, and so on.
So and I'll let you guys also chime in on this. I think that what we've been doing over the last couple of months has also been a very healthy mental exercise for all
Yeah,
of us.
definitely.
I agree.
Yeah, I appreciate doing these meetings, especially, you know, because we do some research ahead of time. We're actively thinking about the topic ahead of time and how we can assimilate uh, that in our own lives. Um, so it's definitely beneficial for me to be taking part in this. So on the
Well,
note of, go ahead, John.
well, I was gonna say, we're trying to keep it at 45 minutes. We have more to talk about. Should we table the rest of our health and wellness until next Saturday? I have probably another half a page of notes. For sake of brevity, but do you want to continue it today or?
Um,
uh,
well, I think, you know, what's left on the docket would be
Yeah.
mostly physical fitness.
Mhm.
And we could just briefly talk about that and sort of
Okay.
close the deal. I mean, physical fitness goes along with everything that we've been talking about, in that you can't just jump into something entirely. You have to do what your body's able to do in the amount that you're able to do it. If you have chronic injuries, you need to find some things that you can do and start slow. Um, every day, try to make that a little bit of effort to incorporate more and more exercise into your life. If you can get your heart rate up, that's a plan. I mean, that's one of the better things that you can do. But typically, people are able to work on their flexibility, stretching, slow walks, anything like that. Um, will eventually lead into you reaching your own athletic performance level, whatever that may be, however high or however low. Just doing something each day and slowly building yourself to the person that you're wanting to be, not just physically, but I mean taking care of yourself, uh, giving your body everything that it needs so that we last longer and feel better. What do you guys think?
Absolutely.
So
A little bit of fitness will help you be able to go for a walk if you want to without getting winded. If you are physically unfit, you're just unaccustomed to your body processing that much oxygen, getting that much oxygen to your muscles. Your body's just going to fail at doing that if it's not accustomed to doing it. Should you ever have to run away from somebody who's trying to harm you, that could be, the difference between getting away from harm or not getting away from harm. Um,
so so one of the things that I have been doing the last few months is making sure that I get out for um, an hour walk. That's 30 minutes one direction, 30 minutes back. And it's something that I did during COVID, just because we were all socially distancing and you couldn't get out and do anything else. And so it was a way to get my body moving. And so the last few months, that's really what I've been trying to do. And I've been trying to do it twice a day. Once in the morning, right after I have my coffee, and then once in the evening. And I feel a whole lot better. Sure, it's not a ton of exercise. I'm not burning a ton of calories. But I just feel better.
Yeah. I think everyone will experience that in some way. And walking's a good example because it's most people are able to do that, incorporate at least a few minutes, work your way up to something like that. And it's different for everybody. Some of my injuries make walking rather difficult for me. I have my electric bike that I have because it hurts for me to pedal beyond a certain point. So a small thing that I've incorporated into my rides is getting those few pedals that I can do before I start to aggravate injuries.
So, well, one of the things that I've encouraged John to do, and John, you can speak to this, is occasionally when he's having stress, is get out there, take a walk, take a bike ride.
Absolutely.
It's gonna be good for your mental health to do that.
Definitely.
And it is. You get outside, you're smelling new smells, seeing sights that you wouldn't otherwise see. You don't have the four walls of your living room or the walls of your interior, and you just have the expansion of your mind. Able to break free of the emotions, maybe.
All right. Sorry to like put you on the spot there, but
Okay. No
Yeah, I've been trying to
problem.
get him to buy a bike forever. We're so close to that.
We're
And then
getting
we're going to be
closer.
stress free, buddy. We're just going to be no stress whatsoever.
it's amazing. John, you can just shut your mouth. So James, it's amazing to see how much better he feels after he goes out and does that.
Yeah,
Get an
definitely.
adrenaline rush, natural high.
Hey, super duper.
Super duper from 3 meetings ago.
Yeah. Hope you've been doing good. Uh, well, I think we're just about to wrap this one up. I'm gonna eat and I'm gonna take a nap. Part of my health and wellness routine.
That
All
sounds
right. Well,
good.
well, stay on after we stop recording. I'll give you that recipe really quick.
Oh yeah. All right.
Okay. Thanks,
Cool.
everybody. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Do your best.